Hello everyone. Welcome to Ed Talk TV, Conversations Worth Having. I hope you are having a great Monday. If not, it's going to get good right now. So start tagging your friends, sharing this out. We're having a special guest. For those who are new, let me introduce myself and the show. My name is Ed. I'm your host, and I am the tech savvy business strategist. I help busy, overwhelmed business owners get their life together, basically helping you get organized and overcome tech challenges that you face in your business, because tech is brutal sometimes, right? And so that's what I do. I can help out and really get in there and figure out what's going on and get you to the next level. And I do this show, Ed Talk TV, Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here on the Facebook business page. So you can catch me live. If you haven't followed the page, you can like it, of course, but if you haven't followed and turned on See First, then chances are you won't be able to get a notification. Even if you do that, though, I always recommend just popping in your calendar Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Boom. Just dedicate that to Ed time. That's your personal development time. And that way, whether or not we're live, because some days we might not have the show for whatever reason, you can still have that 1 hour time blocked out. Because sometimes the show's only 30 minutes, sometimes it's an hour, it just depends. And so this is like your blocked off time. So I'm helping you out so that way you can get things done. A lot of people get work done during the episode, like things that we just talk about by the end of the episode, they're already implemented. So it's really good, trust me. So if this is your first time joining me as well, not just for the show, but just me in general, be sure after the show to head over to my website. The link is in the comments there, edtroxel.com. If you go to checkwithed.com, same thing, it will get you there. Hey, Aaron, welcome. Good to see you here. You'll want to make sure that you do two things. One, get on the email list. It's right there at the top of the page. And I send you one email a week. There's a little training that I give you for free. And then weekly, I send out an email on Fridays that shares all about me, what I'm doing, tips and tricks around business and tech, and a bunch of fun things, sometimes discounts in there too, so there's that. And then the second thing, which you'll hear about anyway, is the Hey Ed community. We'll talk a little bit about that today. That is my membership community where we just, I don't even know how to describe it anymore, you guys. Like, it's just so good. Like, I just don't know how to describe it. It's so hard to describe. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. And if you're watching the replay, please be sure to tune in to the comments and say hello. During the live broadcast and the replay, I always encourage you to comment. You can share, you can like, you can love. That's all good. But commenting's huge because that helps me and our audience members and our guests today know that you're here, and that gets you to be visible. That gets you to show up, deliver, and engage, right? Boom. There you go. So make sure that you guys do that. And today we're going to do quick random news, and then we're going to bring on our special guest. Today you're going to want to watch the episode, though, because what's going to happen is only available today. That's all I'm going to say. So, keep that in mind, and if people start tuning in late, we'll, be a friend and help them out. So happy Monday, everyone. Let's take a look at random news before we bring our guest on. Well, Tesla's at it again. How many of you guys want to buy a surfboard from Tesla? It doesn't, as far as I know, it doesn't have any electronic parts, which is good. We don't want to be getting electrocuted in the water. That would open up a whole new door for them of problems. But for $1,500, if you were lucky, because they are sold out, if you were lucky, you could get a Tesla surfboard. Now, I will say this black one is looking really clean. The black and red, I mean, it's slick. I am not a pro surfer, so I wouldn't buy it for $1,500. I would rent it for, one day when I go out to do some surfing, but that's about it. But look how clean that looks. I mean, just beautiful. Again, has nothing to do with cars, really. I mean, I guess maybe the fiberglass or whatever they're using for it, but other than that, yeah. Now on eBay, that's going for up to $4,000. So somebody's making a good profit off of this. So always keep your eye out. Now, if that didn't get you, I gotta start playing cards, man. Not like casino cards. I'm talking about like the kids' card games, like Magic. Because I will say, kids, I'm sorry if you're tuning into this. I know I was never into Pokemon cards, and I was never into this Magic stuff, and I know some adults play this too, so no hard feelings if this is you, but this was just not my thing. And I'd be like, what? Really? 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 But now I can see, I'm like, dang, you really did have it going on. I mean, somebody paid $87,000. That's right, $87,000 for this one card. For this one card, you guys, I'm like, even if I'm not into cards, I should be playing this stuff or at least having some of these on hand so that I can resell them later, because somebody's willing to pay $87,000 for this one card. So I want you to use this as motivation for whatever you're working on or you think you want to work on, and understand that there is somebody. It might be hard to find them, but there is somebody who will buy your stuff. Somebody will. The hard part is going to be finding them or having them find you, which we're actually going to talk about today on the show. Before I get there, real quick, because most of you probably didn't even get to see this post because, Facebook, and we'll just talk about it for a second. But I wanted to share this with you guys because yesterday I posted this talking about, how I know everyone can't afford a one-on-one consulting with me or other people. It doesn't matter. But, one-on-one consulting is expensive. Tech support is expensive, especially if it's ongoing tech support. So I wanted to let you guys know, the reason I wrote this post, and you can read it there, but basically I created the Hey Ed community to help with both of those, business questions and tech support. And so when I talk about it, it's crazy. It's not just because I created it. It's because it's making a difference and it's making a huge impact in the people that it's serving. And I can tell you right now that so far it's been up and running for 6 months and not one person has canceled their membership. Not one. That just blows my mind. So when I tell you that there's something special about the Hey Ed community, don't even worry about the name, because some of you might be judging it by the name. Because, the name, you may be like, Hey Ed, well, I don't really get it. Well, Hey Ed is just kind of the first conversation piece. Most people who are asking for tech support from me will say, Hey Ed, do you know XYZ? Or Hey Ed, how does this go? So that's kind of the backstory of the name. But understand that, hey, Jasmine, nice to see you. Yes, there'll be a replay, but you want to make sure that you watch it today, not tomorrow, because what happens today is only available today. So I'm just going to say that, and we'll get more into there. But it's one of those things, I cannot tell you and stress this enough. The Hey Ed community is the business where you get business done and you are engaging. And I know I got to get better at explaining that to those of you guys who are kind of on the fence. But if you're on the fence, hit me up. We can talk. It's a conversation. You got the juice. I love it. I love it. That's what we'll market it as. Hey Ed, I got the juice. That's it. You guys thirsty? Because I got the juice. That's all you got to know, right? So I will be celebrating this for a while, this 6 months of no one canceling, because August is a big month for us. So I'm really excited about that. And it says something, right? When you've built something that people are enjoying and that they're not canceling, that says something. So, whatever you're working on, understand you don't need to get 1 million people involved. You start slow and you work with that and you start building that audience, that engagement, and you really work with that group. And then you will see that the time you put in and that the work that you do there is going to pay off. And then people just keep coming. And then you're like, oh, people are here. But no one's leaving. This is awesome. And that may not happen forever, but when it does, you celebrate it and you really embrace it. So just thank you for all of you who are in the Hey Ed community, and thank you for those who maybe are considering it or who will join eventually. I appreciate your time no matter what, and it's just really cool to have that. So there is that. How about we bring in our guest today? I'm super excited about this. And like I said, you're going to, even if you're watching the replay, hopefully it's still today, the 30th, July 30th, Monday, because some of you might watch it tomorrow. Hopefully you're still watching it today, and you'll see what's going on here. So let me go ahead and ring my guest, and then in the meantime, you guys can share this out, tag your friends, and we will go from there. Fingers crossed all the tech works with us, and we'll be really happy if that does. Welcome to those joining. Hello, hello.
Hello.
We have audio. I love it.
Yay.
Hey,
Okay, awesome.
we have video.
Good. What's going on?
I'm so excited to have you here.
I'm excited too. Oh my goodness.
This is awesome. And it's so funny because I thought I had you on the show before, but maybe we went through Zoom or something.
I can't remember. Honestly, I have no clue.
Yeah.
Like, who can even remember that far back, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. So go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience so that way they know who you are, and then we'll jump into the content today.
Totally. Hey, everyone. I am so thrilled to be here. I'm such a fan of Ed. We met a while ago, and we just have such a mutual adoration for each other and lift each other up, which I love. I love having those kinds of relationships with entrepreneurs. My name is Michelle Lewis. I'm a visibility expert. My history is in Hollywood and TV and film, and what I do now is I work in entrepreneurship, and I help entrepreneurs get more visible online through different branding strategies, video and live streaming, and as we've talked about, publicity.
I love it. How many of you guys watching, even if you're watching the replay, are like, yes, I am all about this right now?
Pop in an emoji, make it really entertaining for us, right?
There you go. There you go. I love it. And so why, okay, so I don't even know where to start because there's so much excitement today.
I know. Just dance it out, Ed. Dance it out.
I know, right? We're all like, we're just hanging out here like, let's just do shoulders. Let's just pop, drop, lock it. So why is today so special? Let's just start there. Why is today so special?
Today is so special because my book is out. It is so exciting. I'm thrilled. I've literally been behind the computer all day, you guys, and monitoring the ranking and, just promoting myself just terribly. I mean, embarrassingly, like texting everyone I know, like doing that thing. And it's just been great. It's been fun. It's been rising up in the charts, but that's why today is so special.
I love it. And so give us a little backstory on the book, basically, and like kind of how we got here. And then I kind of want to talk about the whole promotional thing today too.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because that's an exciting part of it.
Absolutely. Exciting, terrifying, pee your pants, whatever, potato. But the book is actually co-authored with my publicist, Kristen Marquet. When we were chatting in January about how we wanted to collaborate together, a book kept coming up, and we're like, you know what, we're just going to do it. She lives in New York, so we have been talking over the digital webs for 6 months, co-writing this. It's literally 50-50 of our work, and what our goal was, since I'm very much more on the strategy, visual, like video production side of things, and she's much more on the publicity and writing sides of things. We wanted to be able to give someone a one-stop shop manual so that they could literally go, okay, here we go. Where do I get started? Chapter 1, like website and photography, chapter 3, my press kit, chapter 5, throwing out that pitch, all that kind of stuff. So that's what we wanted. We wanted this to be the publicity manual for entrepreneurs. And so far, I think we're going to hit that goal, which is very exciting.
I love that. And a few people already have gotten their copies. They're excited. I know I got mine today. I haven't read it yet because I had to wait because I'm doing all these other things.
You run a business? I don't understand.
I know. It's like all I wanted to do was drop everything and start reading that. And I was like, oh, Ed, this is not going to be good. I can't do this.
Right.
Even though I know it's good for me and it would help with everything that I'm doing, but I had to hold
No shiny objects, Ed.
Exactly.
Let's do the show first. You read this when you're in bed tonight.
Yes. And so this is exciting. And so when it comes to the book, first off, why is it so important that people know today is like the day? I mean, the book came out, but what's so important about it?
It is just free today. We have made a one-day promo of this book because we want everyone possible to get their hands on it. The price does go up tomorrow, so literally we have like 4 more hours and this baby is done. So that's why we want you to jump in and grab it now, and that's why Ed is so awesome for letting me come on the show today to talk about it. It's perfect.
Yeah, you guys, and Michelle, feel free to drop the link into the comments whenever. for people there. And so you guys, just so you know, like this is kind of how it works. So today I didn't have a guest spot planned. It was just going to be me. And I saw Michelle and we were talking about the book, and I'm like, hey, by the way, if you want, you can come on the show today and talk about it, because this is what people want to know. And because you're doing this special on one day only thing, like why not talk about it? It's super exciting.
Exactly.
So that's how
Perfect.
it happened. And that's how we got Michelle on the show, which I'm excited about.
Me too. It worked out awesome. When you asked me, I'm like, this is totally synchronicity. Let's do it.
Yeah. And so, okay, so you have the book. So let me just recap for some of you guys. So
Sure.
6 month project. You and your friend, and I'm sorry, what was her name again?
Her name is Kristen Marquet.
Kristen Marquet. So on opposite sides of the country, right?
Yeah.
Working for 6 months to build this book, and you're bringing both of your unique perspectives, which complement each other. And then it's a whole basically laid out plan for anybody who wants to be seen. And is it just online or just in general to be seen?
It can be. It's pretty, like, she does cover, I think it's in chapter 8, she goes through all the different types of service-based businesses. Oh, so nice. One of them is entrepreneurship, but there's so many more, which is great. And then she outlines the main, like, channels and tactics to use for each one. So then you can kind of go back through the book and figure out which strategies you want to use for your unique business. I think it's really powerful no matter where you are, because what it teaches you is step by step how to grow in the visibility stages. No one is going to be like, oh, hey, my business is launched. Where's the press, right? It's a work in progress. And so we show you how to do it from like the baby steps all the way up to like EO Fire and the Huffington Post and that kind of stuff. So I think it's the most like comprehensive thing that we have out there right now, I'd like to say. But you know, I wrote it. So
right. No, that's really cool. And so now with the book launching today, and is it just digital, or is it going to be digital and print?
So here's part of the saga that not a lot of people know. Yeah. It was supposed to be digital and print today, but we had so many issues with the formatter that we hired. Oh. I literally was up until like Saturday night at 2 a.m. like getting everything done, because he just wasn't nearly as complete as I wanted. Yeah. So we were not able to get our copy to proof it in time, and so we didn't feel good about our audience going and purchasing it today and then getting it and it being off. So we're waiting for the delivery, which will probably happen tomorrow or the next day. So our goal is to have the hardcover come out on Monday. Yes. So this is a good example for everyone listening that sometimes you have like such a plan of attack, but the thing was, I had already reached out to my audience. I reached out to my friends like you. The date was set, and I'm like, Kristen, we're putting out the ebook on Monday. Like, I don't care. I have a really good feeling about today. We're doing this now, and then we'll just do the paperback next week. So that's kind of how it all worked out.
And I love that you point that out, because as many of you guys are watching and listening, even on the replay, that's something really important to understand. Like, no matter what you're launching, you always want to factor in something's gonna give. Like,
something is always, and things are gonna go wrong. We had to push our release date 3 different times.
Oh wow.
I was having, like travel issues and couldn't get internet. She was having a family member that was sick. Just life happens, right? So it never goes according to plan.
Yeah, and so it's so important, because I know a lot of you guys are ready to launch something or going to be launching something, and you're on this tight deadline, and you're like stressing yourself out and really trying to push for that deadline, which is, if that's your thing, that's your thing. But understand that there might be some other forces there that say, hey, it's good to have a plan, but we're going to have this detour, just so you know.
Yes, and that's really easy for some personality types to go with the flow. And they usually describe themselves as go with the flow personalities. Me, I'm a shark, so I'm like, what do you mean it's not going to happen on this date at this time on this second? It's like the end of the world. And then my husband will be like, honey, it's not meant to be. I'm like, it's meant to be because I said it was so, right? It's so dramatic. But it's true. You have to be flexible. And what always happens is that things do work out in your favor. Yeah. Today just happened to be a great day, and we were able to rank in 3 categories on Amazon. That may not have been true if we would have launched a month ago like we were supposed to. Right. You never know, right?
And that's amazing. And so, okay, so we launched the book today, and it's digital. Now, why did you guys go the free route for the first day, if you're able to talk about that? I'm curious.
Absolutely. Yeah, we talked about a lot of different strategies because we're not like gurus about book launching. We've both done it independently, but never like, oh, we want to rank here or do this or whatever, but we wanted to have a strategy with this one. And so this all goes to Kristen in terms of her researching the different categories and how many downloads we would need to get in 24 hours in order to rank in the top, 5 or 6 or whatever. We never expected to like launch it and then wake up in the morning and have it be number 1 in those categories. We're like, what are you talking about? But because we did that research, and then we knew that we wanted to launch it free because it's a no-brainer for people, right? So I knew that the conversion rate was going to be probably, once people clicked on it, closer to like 75% instead of like 20 if people had to pay a fee for it. So that was just kind of strategy, and it's easier to rank in the free section than it is in the paid.
And now, you guys, you're probably going to wonder, or you're going to know this, I hope you guys will know this. What word did she say twice that I absolutely love? I want you guys to guess, even if you want to.
Guys, I don't know. I have no clue.
It's a good word, and I'm going to come back to that because awesome. I want you guys to guess on that. But what I love the fact is that you guys had the strategy part there, and that you thought about what is our goal here. And not just what our goal is in general, but what is our goal for the first 24 hours. And, yes. And you guys did that. What's the word, you guys? I know you got it. Research.
What?
Yes, nice. Research.
Is that an Ed word?
Yeah, I'm all about researching. I love researching.
It. Love it.
Like you were a perfect example right there. You guys did your research ahead of time to understand what you needed to do in order to get to number 1. And then from there, look what happened. You invested the time, because it takes time, you guys, up front to pay off in the long run. And it's already paying it off. Like, it's beautiful. So that was the best example, right there live, that all you guys can get.
Woohoo! I'm so glad to be that guinea pig. It's exciting.
Yes.
But it's true. And for me, she is a professor. She ran a PR firm in New York. She has that mind, which is awesome. Yeah. I have the mind of connecting, collaborating, like as we talk about collaborating all the time. Yeah. And so I know what people like to see. And so while she did the stuff for like getting it in the press and doing the technical research, I did the stuff of like putting us both on video and announcing that it was going to be free and boosting that post today, and then organically just sharing stats as they climbed and all that stuff. And I know, hey, probably 20 or 30 people unfriended me. Probably my relatives are like, oh my gosh, Michelle, but I don't care, right? Because I'm obsessed with the goal. And overall, the reaction has been really positive. So I've had like balls in a lot of courts because you never know like what's going to land the best.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, it's true. And as part of your promotion part, like what kind of struggles do you run into with, like maybe say Facebook or anywhere else?
It's hard. I think the hardest thing is cost. If you're not ready to invest a lot of money, which we weren't, like to be totally honest, we've spent like $60 in Facebook ads. We didn't want to spend a lot of money on the ads because we wanted to be able to order all the copies to be able to send to the different influencers who were willing to share the book on their social media, as well as a couple events that are coming up. That's really important for us to be able to offer like the VIPs for our friends' events, sure. Free copies of the book. So it's kind of more of a long game strategy, to be honest with you. Yeah. But because I tested the waters over the last month to see who would be willing to share in terms of my entrepreneur circle, I knew that I had like a solid 20 to 30 people, and I knew like 5 of them were going to send it to their list. So I knew that I was covering about 10,000 people roughly. And so that's helped me go, okay, I can boost this video the day of, and most likely we're going to hit number 1. We may not do it in the overall nonfiction category, but we were able to do it for the other 3 that we wanted. So, so I think it worked out pretty well without having to break the bank with ad spend.
And I am loving this. You guys, I did not pay her to say all of this stuff.
No.
This is my favorite. This is also another thing, because I've never done any paid ads for my Facebook business page, or I haven't paid any ads, to be honest. None.
Nice.
Which is awesome. And hopefully I can continue that way, but whatever. And so it's one of those things that I really love being able to hear that from others, because I think oftentimes we as entrepreneurs, what we hear is, oh, just start plugging away at Facebook ads. They're cheap, $3, $5 here and there, and you'll get a ton of views and everything. And it's like, but what does that mean? What does that translate to? Why would you throw money at something that you're not really sure about, or that aren't the right eyeballs? And so it's refreshing to hear that word of mouth, like we all know, word of mouth is still number 1 marketing, and being able to have a strategy, put that strategy into place, and go through and connect with your people and make sure that the word gets spread that way.
Yeah, and I think a huge part too, like we both run podcasts and I run a couple of summits. I have been trying to build up my reputation. Is that right? Build up my collaborations and connections and reputation, however you want to say that, over the years without asking anything in return, so that when it came to this happening, people were more excited to promote for me versus not having a lot of like depositing into that kindness bank. So people are like, well, why would I share that for you? Like, I hardly know you. So I think that was really instrumental as well.
Yeah, and that's a great example, you guys, for all of you watching live and on the replay to know, like, that's where it's beautiful to do the guest blogging, the guest speaking, the guest podcasting, all of those things, your own Facebook Live show, like doing these types of things is great because you're helping each other out. Teamwork equals success. And then when it comes to that big win that you're like, I really just need to do something, like with the book here, people are going to be like, oh yeah, no problem. Are you kidding me? Like, let's do this. Like, you don't even have to ask twice.
Exactly. And that surprised me, coming from a background of Hollywood and coming from a background of being bullied a lot in junior high and high school. I was very nervous. And like, I think that's why I said it like publicly, like, hey, who would be willing to do this? Because it's like, hey, if no one responds, it's not a big deal. I can just delete the post, right? So many people be so kind. It's been a huge lesson for me going, okay, I am changing my reality. I am changing my connections in a beautiful way. And I think there is that fear of competition, fear of not being supported no matter where you're at in your business. And knowing that it does come full circle and that the kindness does get reciprocated has just been incredible for me to witness. And I hope everyone on this call knows that it's going to come back to you in your business too. So don't be afraid to give freely.
Yeah, it's so true. And so we had the 6 months, for those just joining, just a quick recap, we had the 6 months of working together back to back across country and being able to pull your resources from each other into one book. And then you went ahead and did your research and made sure to have a goal to figure out what you wanted to rank for and how you might be able to make that happen. Then you launched the digital copy today, which is only free today, you guys. So if you're watching this after July 30th, you're not going to get it for free. It's still worth it to get it, but today, the 30th, is the day to get it for free. And then from there, what's the next part of the journey?
You know, the next part of the journey is going to be very interesting. I might be going to New York in October for a couple of events, so we're going to be possibly speaking together there and selling the book there, which is a whole new realm for my business. And then we are, to be totally transparent, we're figuring out like how we're going to partner together. We're talking about starting a consulting agency. We're talking about developing a course. So just kind of feeling what people need, because I still have Visibility Vixen. She's still has Femme Founder, and this Visible Press is joint. So we're figuring things out, but we knew what we wanted to do first was to establish our authority with a book.
Yeah.
And I think that that can be really strategic, and I think it can also be really smart to do if you can partner with someone or do like a collaborative work with a bunch of people, because then it's not all falling on you for your first time.
Yeah. I'm so glad you said that, because I'm in the middle of writing my book, and I'm like, I'm making all my little lists here, and it's more manageable. I need to work on it more, but yeah, it's good to know that. And when you put all this together, now I know a lot of you guys watching or listening, even on the replay, I know this question is burning, and you guys haven't asked it yet, so I'm going to do it for you, because I just know you guys are like being shy right now.
They're scared.
Yeah.
They see this crazy humid hair and they're like, oh my God, terrifying.
What did you guys use in terms of project management system?
Yeah, so this was my zone because I am very organized for the most part. I can go through periods of not. But so we collaborated in a Google Doc. So throughout the week, we would both enter into it, and we had our specific assigned chapters, like you're doing this one, I'm doing this one. Sometimes I would do sub-chapters and she would do sub-chapters. I worked through it because I tend to be very creative when it comes to this. I did it as I wanted to do it. So for example, I dreaded the video portion of it for some weird reason for months. So I'm like filling out the summit, filling out the press kit, filling out, whatever it was. And I'm like, oh, I gotta do this video part. And it was like such a block. So I took my time with that and kept all of us accountable both of us accountable in Asana, set due dates. That's where I had all my notes just in case we wanted to eventually do drop shipping, email copy, all that kind of stuff. So I did all of that in either Google Drive or Asana. And that's how I stayed on top of things.
I love it. I know you guys were all, I put it in the comments, but I know you guys were all curious about that, and that was like burning in your question bank there, and I was like, I just got to ask.
You got to do it, right? You got to keep on top of it, otherwise it'll never happen.
Yeah, and that's such an important piece to the whole puzzle. I mean, really, is being organized, and especially when you're working with somebody else, no matter where they're at in the world, you got to stay on top of things, and it's got to be easy, and that's where email just doesn't really cut it. I mean,
it's a disaster.
It can be a part of it, but it's not like the main part. And so that's where I want people to understand, like, that's where the part comes in for that.
Well, it makes it so much easier. I could go through and comment the things I wanted her to look at. She would do the same for me inside of the Google Doc. What I did do is every week I would save that Google Doc and rename it just in case we lost anything, like both editing in there. So that's a little thing that I did just to be safe, because my dad is an assistant director. So it's always like you need a backup of a backup of a backup. So that was true. That did happen. But as long as you stick to what I tried to do was 2 paragraphs a day, because then I knew I was getting out, 70, 100 words, whatever, and 200 words equals 1 page. So I knew that if I was doing, 2 paragraphs a day, I would be able to make a lot of leeway. And that way you're not sitting down looking at the page and going, oh my God, like, where do I even start, right? It feels more doable.
Okay, so all of you guys can just drop whatever you're doing. If you're driving, keep driving. Don't stop unless you need to pull over. But I want you guys to all make sure you make a note and listen to that again on the replay, because that, if you get nothing else out of this episode, that right there is money. Money. Having that broken down. Because I will tell you from writing my book too, is looking at coming up with an outline. Sure, no problem. Like that, fine. I can do bullet points, call it a day. Then when you start filling in the blanks, you're like, okay, maybe I got a page here, maybe I have a paragraph here, and then, you're just all over the place, and it gets overwhelming. And then you look at it and you're like, I don't want to do this. But the way you broke it down, 2 paragraphs per day, that is so manageable. And that can be, for some people, anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes a day. I mean, that's not a whole lot,
Well, especially because your mind has a break. And so the next day it's like, oh, yeah, I'm having this one thought. And all you have to do is get that one thought down and then you're done. Yeah. So it tends to refresh a little bit easier. And I know that Kristen did it in more chunks, but obviously, like, she's a teacher. Her brain works differently. But she was a little bit more fatigued than I was just because I was kind of like in and out.
Yeah.
So I think that it's manageable for if you're running a business full time to break it down into little chunks, because I'm not the kind of person who wants to just like take 4 weeks away and write the book. So it worked out really well.
That is awesome. And did you did you have like your outline, and then when you had those 2 hours or whatever, you would say, okay, I'm just going to work on bullet point 1, and then when I return, I'm on bullet point number 2?
Yeah, or I would skip around.
Okay.
So the way that we broke down the paragraphs was kind of equal, where I was doing chapter 1, she was doing 2, I was doing 3. And so I'd literally look at it and be like, oh, I don't want to talk about websites and photography right now. That sounds really just frustrating. So I'm going to go over here to branding. We're going to talk about color. Yeah. And I'd fill that out for the day. So I went according to what I wanted to do until the last part when it was like unavoidable to do the things I kept putting off, and then I would just face the dragon.
That's awesome. And did you guys edit it yourself, or did you say like, hey, we're going to write it and then we're going to have somebody edit and then they can piece it all together?
We did almost all of it ourselves. We did have someone come in and help us a little bit with the editing and going over some things, but 95% was us. So if I were to do it all over again, would I maybe have someone come in? Sure. But I think that for what it was, what I really wanted to maintain, because I'll say something like, and so now I am, and then I would put in parentheses, Michelle, going to tell you this story about blah, blah, blah. And if it was Kristen talking, it'd be Kristen. And so I wanted to preserve it sounding like us, because I'm interested in them loving the book so much they want that further relationship. And what I've noticed about friends of mine who have had books published where they literally never touch it, they have a ghostwriter that comes in and has a conversation, then they're gone with the process, which are some of these books from friends of mine here. There's nothing against it, but for me, I didn't want to be that far removed from what I was writing and what I was doing. I wanted to really have my hands in there for my audience. So it depends on how you feel.
Oh my goodness. I just got chills because that is good. Like, I mean, when we talk about it all the time, I talk about it, the show up, deliver, and engage. And you really have to work on what you're doing and really engage with your audience all the time, which is why I talk to replay viewers as well as live viewers. And it's one of those things that when you build up your community and you bring yourself to the table, people are coming for you and they want to feel who you are. They want to get to know you. They want to get to know, like, and trust you and follow your journey. And so having that as part of the book, I think just makes it that much better and really allows people to really feel a personal connection with each of you guys.
So true. And I think, people are going to find typos. They're going to find mistakes. Sure. I have no problem with that. If you want to message me and be like, Michelle, you misspelled this word, I'd be like, you read the book. I'm so excited, right? That's totally fine with me. Kristen was texting me yesterday, and literally I could read you the whole email. It's just so funny because she's like, I went through it again and I found, she's a teacher, right? English professor, all this stuff. Yeah. She's like, I found dangling participles. Apparently that's a word. And like injunct adjective blah, blah, blah. And I'm just laughing, going, I have no idea what any of is, which is amazing. And chances are a lot of people here are in the same boat. So you just have to laugh. There's going to be mistakes. It's okay. You can always go in and reformat something and hit publish again on Kindle. It's not a big deal. So releasing yourself from the expectation of perfection.
Well, and that's a good thing to remember, you guys, is that nothing's perfect. We talk about that all the time. And I will tell you, I worked at a magazine, and we would have, I would say, anywhere from 5 to 10 people editing a article, like one article, and making sure everything from, the story to the copy to the editing, that's all kind of there, but the editing, the photos, the layout, the page, everything. We would go through rounds and rounds making sure. And every time, you guys, somebody would catch something. It just happens. And so just know that it's not all the stress doesn't fall on you to be perfect, because no matter how many eyeballs you get on there, there's always going to be something, because what happens is, just like a website, we make adjustments, and then when we go back with fresh eyes, or somebody else has fresh eyes, they see, oh, well, now we need to tweak this in order to fit with this, so just go easy on yourself.
Hey, Harry Potter has typos. I hold myself to that standard, so I feel okay about things.
Yeah, there you go. It's all about, just getting the work done. And like we always say, just starting and testing and seeing what happens and being able to put it out there and see what that feedback's going to be like. Now, I mean, I don't know if this is in the works or whatever, but now you can take all the feedback you get from everyone and see what needs to be adjusted or what needs to be the extended edition or whatever. And then that will help with, even the agency part or the course part or whatever, which is awesome because you wouldn't get that until you launch the book.
Exactly. And that's why we have action steps at the end of every chapter, because what my goal is for the reader. And for me, there's so much like juiciness, let's say in Russell Brunson's Expert Secrets or whatever, and you're reading it and then you just want to write all these notes inside of the book and there's not room and like what step do I implement when and all that kind of stuff. So when you are able to prioritize your reader and what their reading experience is going to be like, not your author experience, I think a lot of the content and how you format things does change.
Yeah, it's so true. And I cannot wait to read this because I'm like so excited about that. Organization is like...
I'm excited too. I'm sending you the paperback next week. You got to send me your address. It's coming.
Awesome.
Heck yeah.
That is great. So yeah, anything else that you wanted to share? Did we cover everything about the book? I want to make sure this is your time to kind of just share anything else with the audience.
I so appreciate that. I think we covered a lot of great strategy. I think in terms of those of you that are watching that are feeling a bit overwhelmed with the business building and feeling like, I'm just going to build the business and then get into advertising and I just can't even deal with the publicity world right now. That's the biggest hang up. I mean, I was talking to someone who runs $1 million ad agency the other day who hasn't done one lick of publicity because she has the success that she's been looking for through advertising. And so a lot of people a lot of entrepreneurs don't think they also need publicity. Right. And what I want to encourage you to do is while you're in the different visibility stages of your business, focus on publicity as well, just a little bit, because that's going to start building your notoriety as a thought leader. It's really important, and it's not something that you can get with Facebook ads, with Instagram ads, whatever it is. That may translate to dollar signs, and that's absolutely what you need for your business to grow. But if you have a bigger mission, if you really want to impact the planet, if you want to connect with other influencers, then you are going to need to focus on booking those interviews and summit spots and speaking gigs and those features, opinion pieces, and Q&As in bigger publications like Medium and BuzzFeed and Huffington Post and all of that. So it's something to consider, and that's something that this book will help you do. So I hope that it's helpful, and I hope that you can grab it while it's free, and I would love to know what you think once you're done reading it.
Yes, awesome. And you guys, the link will be in the comments, and then you guys, even if you're watching the replay, you can still, I got Michelle tagged in here, and you'll see her website and everything in the comments. So no matter where you're watching
shout me out.
Yeah, definitely please follow up with her and let her know what you think, and grab the book today if you can, because it's free. Paula's like, oh, great info.
Yeah, Paula, what's up, girl?
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Michelle, for being able to jump on here and share all that great info with us. And I'm super excited, and I can't wait to see what comes next.
Ed, I adore you. I think that you're a shining light in this industry. So I really appreciate you taking the time to have me on your show. Yeah. And I can't wait to see what you create in the future and for me to read your book. I'm giving you a year deadline, so you better stick to it.
I know. Oh, you guys see? Whitney, where are you guys at? You guys seen? I just got put on a deadline.
I just got deadline, right?
I'm the one always giving people homework, and now I just got my homework.
Let's see, where's my phone? Check in with Ed on July 30th, 2019.
Oh, man. See, you guys, everyone gets work around here. It's not just you.
I love it.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Michelle. I'll keep in touch, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. That's what I love about this show. Isn't that not cool? So if you guys need anything, check the comments, even if you're watching the replay. We'll be back here same time tomorrow. Whitney's like, yeah, you just got called out. I told you, Whitney, it's not just you, and it's not just everyone else that watches and tunes into the show. Even I have to get homework sometimes. This is awesome, though. It's awesome. I need accountability, so it's good. So if you guys need anything, all the info will be in the comments. Magic happens in the comments. Also, if you haven't done so already, head over to edtroxel.com later to sign up for the newsletter and check out Hey Ed. And I will leave you guys with this, and I will see you back here, same time, same place. Take care. What is the Hey Ed community? I'll let them tell you.
I'm drawn to this community, Erica, because listen, I'm going to make sure as a business person, I know you are as well, serious business women, we're going to make sure that we're getting the content knowledge we need from the Hey Ed community. But I also want to laugh. I want to have fun. I want to enjoy my workday. And I know I'll get that balance in the Hey Ed community. I know he'll tolerate our tangents.
And I think that's the perfect way to have a really good engaged community. It's a perfect balance of business and fun, you know.